Good evening. We're here in Providence, Rhode Island. For those of you who are from the area, gangsters, mafia people, etc., we're actually in West Warwick, Rhode Island, which I think is a suburb of Providence. We rode from Boston today. We had an awesome day. We are lucky because it was only gray and cold and it was not raining like it was yesterday in Boston. And tomorrow we set out for Hartford, Connecticut. So we're looking forward to crossing another state line. Tonight we start our evening dedications. For those of you just joining us, this is the time when we dedicate our resting hours to a child who has lost their battle with pediatric cancer, as my son Pablo did in 2009. It's a way for us to honor the kids, their families, their communities, and it's very important to us as we ride to raise money for the Pablove Foundation mission. Our dedication today is very close to home where we are right now. It is for a little girl named Avalanna Routh, who passed away on Wednesday at Dana-Farber Children's Hospital in Boston, which is where we just were on Thursday, where we fund 3 separate research operations. And we're sending out our dedication to Avalanna, her parents Cameron and Aileen, and to their family and their community, which extended literally around the world because of her love of Justin Bieber. And an interesting story, a fun story about Avalanna is that she loved Justin Bieber. Who doesn't? I actually was in the same room as Justin Bieber a few months ago. It was a very large room at a public event, and I was getting weak in the knees, so I know how she felt. And she loved Justin Bieber so much and talked about him so much and had so much of his music playing all the time that everybody in the hospital referred to her as Mrs. Bieber. And it got to the point where the staff at Dana-Farber threw her a wedding last year so that she could be wedded to Justin Bieber, which is pretty darn awesome. I wonder who stood in for him. It's pretty hard to be as cute and skinny as him, and the hair and all that stuff. When she passed away, because of her tweets back and forth with Justin, the news of her passing literally trended on Twitter, which is like a pretty significant thing. And what an honor for Avalanna and her family, for us, and I say this as a parent who lost his son to cancer. It's very bittersweet to see something so sorrowful and so tragic trend on Twitter. When I heard this news, I simply thought, how great would it be if she could have trended on Twitter when she was alive? And wouldn't it be great, of course, if kids and their stories and their challenges in treatment and their wins in treatment trended on Twitter every day. We can only hope for this kind of a thing to happen. Of course, on Pablove Across America, we do our part to fly flags every day for children and their families and their communities, and that's what we're doing tonight. So as we rest on our first night here in Providence, we will hold Avalanna Routh very close in our hearts, and the entire community of Boston and New England who rallied for her and loved her. And of course, as a fellow parent, Cameron and Aileen, my heart is open to you, and it will always be open to you, and I hope to meet you at some point down the road. Good night, everybody.